5 minutes, you know, my teacher used to tell me, if you can't make your point in 2 minutes, you are unlikely to make it in 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support this finance bill with amendments. Having listened to the people whom we represent, having complained about VAT on bread, having complained about the 2.5% tax on the vehicles, having listened to them that we want to create jobs for our people. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee, and I want to tell the public that the committee is made up of members from both the opposition and the government side, or the minority and the majority. So this bill was not made by Parliament. It was done by the executive and it's been brought to the House. Your members of Parliament have listened to what you wanted to be amended. And therefore, we want to pass it with those amendments, and that is the essence of the public participation. This bill was brought to the public participation, and it goes through the process. Honorable Speaker, when you listen to people outside there saying, reject the bill, this bill is also important because it has to raise part of the revenue to finance what the public requires from the government. And because it has to finance that, as we speak today, we've raised the money for counties to 400 billion. This bill is going to raise 346 billion. That 346 billion will be added with what is being collected in taxes to make it 400 billion so that the counties can have money to offer services. This is going to meet the budget deficit from what the government is collecting. So it is what the government continues to collect. And we need the public to understand that when a finance bill is done, it is a bill that will come into effect to support what the budget requires for the government to deliver. And therefore, we cannot say reject it in total, but you can also suggest what amendments should be done. And I think as people's representatives, we want to ask our Kenyans who are outside there, if you have amendments, you can approach your member of parliament, and the member of parliament can still have time to create that amendment. So the issue of saying reject the bill, I think should not be there. But we should be able to make those amendments, and I hope that our counterparts from the minority side will support those amendments so that we can be able to deliver and make sure that we have listened to what the Kenyan public demands of us. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support with amendments.
Honorable members, before I go to the next speaker, allow me to go back to order number 5 and allow the chair, Jaylak, to table a very important paper in furtherance of one of the NADCO bills. Murugara, get a working mic. Give him a working mic.
Back by seat.
Again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. My young son here must be advised that he should not make use of his father's seat. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 19th June 2024. Report of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of the Senate amendments to the Independent Electoral and the Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We go back to the bill. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I want to confirm that I've taken time to read through the bill itself and the report, which is 389 pages. Honorable Speaker, the idea of using 5 minutes is good, but I think it also discourages some of us who take time to read some of these reports. But I want to see this. Reading through the report, a lot of individuals and institutions did present their comments to the Finance and Planning Committee. And I want to appreciate them because based on the experience of last year, where the same number gave their comments and they were never taken on board, this time I thought they would not be able to appear. So we must appreciate. I also want to thank the committee for creating time to listen to them, and they made some efforts to factor in their comments, Honorable Speaker. But I was asking myself, Honorable Speaker, looking at the original bill, you wonder what was the thinking behind some of the proposals. And that's why I want to thank the committee because they have been able to undo some of them. But because I don't have a lot of time, I'll focus on what the report is saying and what I think from where I stand, that things have been made worse instead of being made better. Honorable Speaker, let me start with the proposal to increase the import declaration fee. If you look at the presentation by edible oil companies, Honorable Speaker, and the presentation by Kenya Association of Manufacturers, as well as the presentation by the Kenya National Commerce and Industry, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they were proposing that, Honorable Speaker, the import declaration fee be maintained as it is, because by increasing that fee, you'll actually be increasing the cost of production. The reason being most of our factories and industries depend on imported inputs to produce their outputs. So as a result of that, the solution was that you either maintain the fee as it is so that you don't increase the cost of production. What does the committee propose? The committee has proposed to increase that fee from 2.5 to 3.5%. Meaning automatically, Honorable Speaker, by doing that, you increase the cost of imports which are coming to this country as inputs, and as a result of that, you increase the cost of production. When you increase the cost of production, automatically, Honorable Speaker, that cost will be transferred to the consumer. That will make our goods uncompetitive in terms of price. And that's why you see, Honorable Speaker, in this country, despite us talking about import protection, people are buying things which have been brought from other countries and buying at a cheaper price than we are producing them. So these to me are the critical issues. The second item, Honorable Speaker, is the Railway Development Levy. The edible oil companies did propose that it is now at 1.5. And they propose that we maintain it as it is, and by doing that, we'll have saved the cost of the oil by about 72 shillings per litre. What has happened? We have increased that levy from the proposal of the committee, because now we're talking about the report, from 1.5 to 2.5, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, if you look at that, what have we done? We are likely to increase the cost of production, because that levy will be levied on all the goods which are imported, and then a good which will go through our railway transport system, Honorable Speaker. So again, instead of helping our manufacturing sector, we are making it worse. To make things worse, Honorable Speaker, if you look at this report, the last clause is a proposed new clause to increase fuel maintenance levy by 9 shillings, Honorable Speaker, by 7 shillings. Anytime you touch fuel in this country, Honorable Speaker, you touch the whole sector, you touch the whole economy, and by doing that, Honorable Speaker, you increase the cost of production, and this will directly affect the Wajikos, the Mwendes of this country, and I can tell you for sure, Honorable Speaker, this now bill, the proposed amendments are going to make this bill more worse, and it's a very good candidate for voting no at the point of voting. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I want to submit and say that.
Time up, Kangoko Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to stand to support the finance bill. Mr. Speaker, this morning, the leader of minority, my good friend, Opio Wandai, asked a question as to why this finance bill was so contentious. And since we have had a finance bill since 1963, and the finance bill 2024-25 is creating a serious issues, including demonstration in the streets. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. What is outside there, Mr. Speaker, or what the people outside there, what they have been told by activists and people who have not read the bill, Mr. Speaker, is completely misleading. Mr. Speaker, I know there has been some contentious clauses in this bill, but Mr. Speaker, as moved by the chair of finance this morning, Honorable Speaker, you will find that the bill which was proposed by Treasury, the committee looked at the bill and they proposed several amendments which are actually people-friendly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in the original bill, there was a 16% VAT on bread. And Mr. Speaker, the bill in the House, or the report in the House now, as by the committee, that VAT has been dropped. Mr. Speaker, the proposal to have 2.5% motor vehicle tax, that clause now has been dropped. Mr. Speaker, the exercise duty, which was proposed in the original bill, especially on vegetable products, Mr. Speaker, that one has been dropped. The Honorable Speaker, the eco levy, which is, we have had many of our colleagues here discuss.